Hello Marvel Heroes fans, my name is Wilfred Wong and welcome to my channel where you see videos and guides on this free-to-play game called Marvel Heroes. If you like this sort of guide, check out the link below. There's a whole lot of guides for you to watch. Now, a while ago I have created a guide for the best artifact, 40 artifacts ranked for maximum damage. Since then, a lot of things have changed. Danger Rooms has come out with a whole set of new set of artifacts, and there are new content such as High Town Patrol as well as the story mode. Chapter 10. So I thought it is a high time for me to create yet another update to a guide called the 56 artifacts ranked for maximum damage. Now, like the one that I've done before, I'm going to look into this whole set of artifacts from the mathematics point of view. And a lot of you ask, because some of you are new as well, which are the artifacts to use and how should I place a value to it. And well, I'm here to help. And I'm not going to look into the summoner artifact, because summoner and non-summoner is kind of different when you compare them. You can't really, it's apple and orange. And also there are some information, some stats like the attack speed is also kind of hard to model, because from hero to hero is different depending on the hero design. So those you have to factor in when you take all this information. Make this information useful to you. And I'm not going to look into all the artifacts in this game, because I think quite a number of you asked, can I do something on the defensive side of it? This is really for DPS. Defensive, there's another guide to how to make your hero stronger. All right. Now, in order to conduct this study, I use a gear that's reasonable, and also I keep it to a cap of 7,500 Omega point. The reason why is that I do not want to operate at the tier of 10,000 Omega points. I don't know how many of you actually get there. So that is one thing. Another thing is that I still assume there is 20% brutal from Hela Blessing. Now, what's going to happen to Blessing, I do not know. But I presume if they drop it to say become like 8%, then the whole kind of like a study skew towards those artifacts that has brutal strike rating. Those will be more highly sought after, right? So that is the one. And as I've done before, I always have this whole basket of hero that I'm going to like run through all the entire 58 artifacts through this kind of mathematical model, and I assume that is max roll. All right. So now there's always a fine print there. So before you head towards, I've got a time code below. If you want to come back and check out the list again, you can just click on the link below. When you come to gearing, it's always about closing gaps. So don't go all out for like certain DPS and whatnot, because sometimes you have to make your hero strong as well. Too much kiting also is not going to help you with DPS. And and always pick artifact that benefit the entire rotation that you have selected in your hotbar, because be it as a damage type or either range or melee kind of thing, area or non-area. So summoner or non-summoner. So take all this into consideration. And also some of this artifact has a lot of affixes. So it would mean that to get a high roll is kind of hard as well. So you may end up having one that is so-called more inferior in my list, but then because the rolls are pretty good, so it may still beat it, right? And I always use what I have, and I do not really put a lot of sweat, as in like why do I not have it, why do I kind of thing. And also another fine print which I haven't really mentioned in my last video is that whatever you pick here, always have complement each other on the flat damage versus the crit brutal chance versus the crit brutal damage rating, because all these become like a product together, make your hero strong. So don't just go all the way out into one dimension while you ignore another dimension. Analogy, if you are in the racing, the engine of the car is important, but the aerodynamic is important as well. Both come together. If you got a good package on both sides, then you win, right? So and I've changed a little bit from last video as well. I've still picked 10 heroes, but I've dropped a few of them, and I added like magic as well as Kitty Pryde in terms of the analysis. So I picked heroes spread between the pure of physical energy and mental, a mix of both as well, and also a range of melee, right? So that is the things that I do. Now, how do you read later on when I present you with a score? Because we all operate in a number kind of view. It's easier to understand score than anything else. So some artifact may benefit some heroes better, but like I said, there's a whole reason why I do like a whole basket of heroes. So making sure that all these artifacts will benefit, putting an average across all. And also another thing is that I'm not a big fan of just force feeding one stat to another with the trade-off like I cannot equate 100 damage rating to 100 damage rate crit damage rating, or 200 or 300. I don't want to force feed that, because I've done a lot for my years of playing with all these heroes and going through numbers. I understand that each hero is very unique in their home profile in terms of the flat damage, crit, and brutal, and chance, and damage kind of thing. So whatever score you see, 1% of score difference is 1.17 in terms of the performance of the hero. Now, and if you look at the all the 58 artifacts being ranked by my methodology here, you notice something quite interesting. There's a lot of outliner on top. I'll talk a little bit about the outliner later in a little bit. So, but majority of the artifact are within like score-wise between 1 to 2% or 3%, kind of like 2% kind of like a spectrum, and the and there's something quite important for you to take note of, because you may really want to go for some of the really good one, but then but another artifact it may not be that bad after all. So that is my job here, to give you this whole big picture, equip you with information on how hard you should work. All right, but I mean, you can always aspire to do really good, because if you look at the spectrum between each end of the study. Now, some of them I don't really include into my entire number. All this number 11.4, because some of them is really low, so I'm not going to skew towards it. But if you look at the best and the worst kind of thing, it's quite a fair bit difference between all. But if you look at the medium, because some of these are, like I said, outliner, and under very special condition you can use it. If you look at the medium, which somewhere in the middle of it, which is 29 of them, then you compare that with the lowest that I would use, because some of them I really would not use. It's about 1.99% in terms of the score. Now, 1.99 score means the 2.32 performance if you take the medium versus the lowest you can get. Or if you end up at 4 artifact in the medium versus 4 artifact in the lowest that I would use, it's about 9.31% of performance. Loss or gain, depending on which way you go. All right, so just keep that in the perspective. It's still quite significant. It's still important to try to get a good artifact, but whether you want to go extra mile or not, it's really up to you. All right. Now, this is the tier 1 artifact, and I do bookmark this thing here. At a full glance of it, some of these artifacts are really specific. I mean, in order to use the first one, you have to do all damage type, plus you have to do area purely. So in this game, who can do it? I think it's only Dr. Doom if you go for the all area hybrid kind of thing. But if you go for mental energy, is also very good. But again, not many heroes can do it. Jin is probably the only one that can do a mental energy area kind of damage. And then you have Dupe Ectoplasm as well. And again, that is that is kind of like an artifact that is good for hybrid, especially for energy and mental. Now then you say, well, what if you have physical? So I do rank them as well below a little bit. But before I sort of jump off to sort of the next bit, is to say that the rune word wise, the physical proc is actually a lot better. I mean, a lot of I think best in slot for the rune words is for physical hero is the power dupe, right? So it does complement a little bit, although the physical dupe ectoplasm doesn't really get represented here, but it's represented in the rune word side. All right, so Black Cat hook is pure movement. Again, not many heroes these days are really pure movement. Every single power is movement. I don't really think there is. I think Juggernaut is probably the closest who can use the full of this whole entire grappling hook, right? But well, I don't know, man. Things may change. This game always got new heroes, and right now, right now it's only Green Goblin. There will be more heroes coming along. And as for the the other two, the anti-reality granite, again physical and energy or physical mental, those are really for area. Nick Freer was right t-shirt, that one's for the physical as well as ranged. Hightown, you have to farm there. I presume those will be as hard as to farm as say Sabertooth or White Gloria necklace, which is physical. The Sabertooth is a bleed, and the Scroll Energy Rifle is for energy. So all these four of them, they are either from MM or from Hightown or from Sabertooth if you found Sabertooth. And I think these are pretty hard, artifact to get. Hence, explain the really high kind of score here as well. Cyclops was right T-shirt, also pretty high in the whole ranking, at 92%. You can get it from the vendor, Danger Room, but again, it's area, all right? So area plus boss damage. So you use it against the boss, you use it against with the full area energy, which I don't think is a lot of energy hero does that besides maybe Jin, all right? And I haven't seen the Shia cloaking device, which is upgraded version, but if you do find that, that's pretty good. Again, not many heroes can use it. Probably Invisible Woman. Even so, you can only use 84% of time because that's how she can go invisible. That's how my build is when it comes to Invisible Woman, 84% now. So all in all, what really want to tell you is that if you put aside things that you can't use for most of the heroes, and you only end up with a couple of them that those are pretty like unicorn items, that if you get any of those four, you're pretty sorted, right? Then it comes to tier 2. Now, tier 2, all these items here in yellows are within 1% of each other. Again, 1% is 1.17% of performance. So again, scroll communication device is from Hightown. Then Taskmaster, I like that artifact, man. I mean, you can farm it in the Cosmic Terminal quite easily. Taskmaster appear in ICP as well. And the artifact is pretty good for generic kind of thing. And Magneto was right T-shirt, also Ranger. That one is also pretty easy to farm. So in the old day, a lot of us are farming this one. And the armor issue Nano Poison is one of my favorite. It has the has +1 to all rank. Also, it's a melee version. So this one you can get the vendor. You can keep rolling until refresh until it's the highest you can get. Then usually buy from there. So any melee hero, I usually recommend this one. Well, of course you can aspire to go to tier 1, but I think this is really good enough for me. Advanced Circlet of Sithoret, that one is from Juggernaut. It doesn't really drop often. Again, they explain the rarity of it. Mental Focus Headband from Modok. It doesn't drop often, but there are many mental heroes, so it's fine, unlike the physical hero. Gem the Curse, generic one is high on this list, so get one if you can. Sinister's Diamond, that was also very nice for mental. You get it from a Danger Room, just keep refreshing until you get the maximum roll. Hand of Doom, those are good artifacts I've always been recommending. And then you have the Burn, the Beacon is for the Burn. Then Essence of Dread is from ICP. You can only get it from ICP. I think one of the bosses is there. Flag of the Scroll Empire is from Hightown. So all in all, it's a good mix of artifacts that you can still aspire to get. Not all of them is hard to get. Some of them just a vendor. Some of them is just running the Cosmic Terminal until you get one, and then after that you reroll the fixes. Then you camp inside the Hightown for a little bit, hope to get something out from it. So tier 2 is kind of like aspiration doable. Then as for tier 3, it's a lot of stuff here because I think this is where a lot of us end up in if you play this game for a while. You do have quite a lot of artifacts lying around, and a lot of them just fall under this one, right? Like the Mayhem Demon Blood, if you have all this like chest from the event, Mayhem event, then you have a chance of getting one of these things that may be useful to you. That I'm not going to talk about Blinding Blazer because that one's dropped quite often. Cloaking Device as well dropped pretty often. 10 years Love Letter, this vendor from the Danger Room, but you require the mob to be weakened. And the next one is the range version of the Nino. I mean, Nino Poison is with the melee version. The range one is actually not that fantastic. So I mean, all in all, I try not to waste my currency to get this one because it's just. Well, I mean, it's a good one. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that I may have something better, or it may cost me a lot of currency. Some of this could be like a free artifact. It just drop everywhere. Omega Drive is from the event. I like it, and Shield Shield, Medal of Valor, is from story mode. It's actually pretty decent as well. So if you get hold of a nice roll, don't throw it away. I don't think you need to spend money to reroll it unless you don't really play a lot of heroes. Then you don't really have a lot of this Medal of Valor. But do keep that as well. As for the Duke Ectoplasm, if you only have energy and mental, I don't think you should waste your currency, the World Stone, to get those two. The Zola ESP box from Mandarin, pretty decent. They have Spirit Regen as well, I think. And the Supercharged Power Cell is again from the vendor. So I don't know. I think for new player, if you have a lot of this kind of currency armor event, you collect a lot of armor, then you may want to buy one of these rather than farming for some of these that you may not have. The Advanced Robot Dispenser is the physical energy artifact. It's really good because you have a dodge there as well. I think some defense kind of stats. So do get this one if you have physical energy hero. Is something worth considering. Black Tom Shillelagh is from Juggernaut, so that is farmable. Fred Duke's body suit also is a physical, by the way. That one is the energy for the Black Tom. Fred Duke is a physical, so those are Juggernaut blob. I do see some Black Toms, but I haven't really seen a lot of Fred Dukes yet, because I think those are quite new artifact introduced into the game. Then the Pyro's Flamethrower also, it's good for burn hero, energy hero, but I haven't really seen a lot of these lying around. Maybe it's just new. Spider Clone Serum ICP. So if you play a lot of ICP, that is something that you may stock up. It's a nice, decent generic artifact. So those without bracket, they are all generic. You can use it for your hybrid hero or hybrid on range melee, those sort of thing. All right. And the Feast of Apocalypse, I don't really look into other stats like FSP and so on. So I can't recall exactly what it proc, but if those things that it proc mean something to you, then you bump this up higher. All right. So I'm not saying that don't use it. I'm saying that always check out some of these things that may not be in the score itself and that may be of value to you. Dangerous AI chip as well. I mean, those from X Defense. I think in the old day you may have stocked a bit, but now it's a lot harder. I think it's harder to farm. So, it is what it is. All right. So these are the tier 3. I still consider them as pretty good. Now, tier 4 is something that I think is getting more and more common. The Sharabas Neon Tum, if you're a non-summoner, it's from the Mayhem kind of like boxes. Non-summoner, you don't really get quite a lot of mileage to it, so you could use it, but so Advanced Metasensory I always recommend because it's so easy to get and it's a +1 rank. I mean tier 4 is a good start. Even if you have equipped everything from tier 4, I can guarantee you still can go through a Cosmic Gate, no problem. Just need to sort of like play a little bit harder. But I mean, most of my build, if you recall, most of my video guides are very much in this kind of like area. I'm operating in this baseline so that you guys can do better than me. All right, Advanced Metasensory, you keep the high rolling one, but the low one you can throw it away. Iron Legion Armor Shield. I know it's a +7 intelligence, but the only downside is that you can't really benefit from +2 ranking to a summon. So I would really use this for summoner or heroes that has a kind of summon kind of like a component to it. In the past, it was very highly sought after because in the past, before the defense reveal, health is king, and Iron Legion Armor Shield has a lot of health in it. But now I don't think you need to really gear that hard on health, but that's just my opinion. Height formula also quite decent. It injects, whenever you use a med kit, I think something proc. Advanced Amulet of Agamotto is for mental, so it's like a metasensory for the mental hero, all right? And the Hellbuster physics package is Red Skull. It does drop. I think it does drop somewhere as well, but yeah. And then Sentinel targeting unit is from the Danger Room vendor. I haven't really taken into consideration of it does apply vulnerability for the group account and stuff like that, but I don't really think I should waste my merit to get this anyhow. Advanced Crimson's Crystal of Citare is a workhorse. Compare this one and the one tier 2, it is just 2% different, but 2% could be a lot. Ziggurat of Karul, of course, also 2% down from Gem of the Curse, but it's one of those things you can teleport around. Some people like it. White Suit Jacket, It's pretty low in DPS, but I like it because it has both health and defense. So if your hero is a dodge or deflect hero, sometimes you just have no choice but to get some of this defense in because it will help you to be stronger. Advanced Phoenix Feather. So I think nowadays with more and more energy kind of like artifact, this become less and less relevant. That's how I feel. Lizard Formula, although it's low, but then it has a lot of like a survivability component to it. So something should not ignore. And a couple of others that sometimes I sort of still look into it, and I don't think any of this really I would use it kind of thing. So but then it's just to complete the whole study, because some of you may get a hand of Nimrod from yeah. So I think thank you very much for watching, and it's just a very quick update to the one that I've done before. And as always, please help me to validate. I don't claim to be 100% correct in all this theory crafting and so on. And also in the past, some of you may have raised some query, and when I look through a number, I realize I make some mistake, and I will edit and annotate on this video. So if you do come back, I would put notes here and there. Description will show you where things are being edited and so on. But all in all, I thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. I mean, artifacts are important. At least now you are equipped with the information to help you to aim towards a better and better, build your heroes to be better and better. All right, see you next time. Goodbye.